Wendell Walker is the Republican candidate in the House of Delegates District 52. He joins us here in studio today. Good to have you here.
Great to be with you, Mark. Thank you.
Let's talk about a couple of issues that are facing the General Assembly and voters here in Virginia. Governor Youngkin has floated the idea of a 15-week abortion ban. Is that something you support? If so, or you don't, why?
I think the governor has a consensus pretty much across Virginia and the people that I've spoken to that they're okay with the 15-week ban. Because when you stop and think about when the decision was reversed last year by the Supreme Court, many other states around the Commonwealth of Virginia have come up with restrictor abortion laws. And so Virginia is still pretty open. And I think the 15-week ban is certainly something I will vote and support. You know, I'm one of these individuals that believe I'm pro-life. So pro-life is very important to me. I've been a consistent pro-life supporter for many years. But I think as we're moving into 24 and the General Assembly, the legislation, the bills that come for us, we'll have to wait and see what actually gets onto the floor.
Okay, well, you know, fetal viability is generally considered to be around 23, 24 weeks of pregnancy. Shouldn't that be taken into account or not?
Mark, I'm not a doctor, a lawyer. I'm just someone who loves life and the value of life.
All right. More than half of all abortions in the U.S. are medication abortions, right? If a bill came before you in the House that would limit access to abortion pills or a complete ban on them in Virginia, I assume, based on what you're saying, that you would vote in favor of that ban.
I would look at legislation. I don't like to comment on proposed things until I actually read the language, because language is very important when you're voting on a bill to become law, whether it's a restriction of the medication for abortions or other things out there. I really have to look at it, but, you know, going back to what I said earlier, as a pro-lifer, you know, I think it's important that we do all we can to protect life.
Education and
yes,
transgender students. The state administration adopted a model policy on this very issue, which I'm sure you're aware of. Virginia requiring trans and non-binary students to out themselves basically to their parents to obtain permission to be called by their name and pronouns and to use the correct bathroom. You're in favor of that. Why?
I support the governor's new policy on the school issues out here. We have seen over the last 2 years how that has been a very hotly issue in a lot of localities, and mainly in the northern part of Virginia here. But I think the bottom line is, when it comes to education, we're leaving the parents out. You know, parents matter when it comes to any decision related to their children in school. So you saw the situation that we had out in Appomattox a couple of years ago. We don't need to have those kind of issues where they hide an individual's maybe emotional or physical changes they're going through. You know, as young children, we go through chemical changes, you know, in our body. And sometimes people just need a little help and guidance. But the parents have to be upfront. I mean, this is the most important decision that these young people will be making, a life-changing decision. So parents must be informed. That's my position on this right here.
And let the child tell the parents, not the other way around, the school or
yes,
a
because
teacher.
there's so much peer pressure out here among young people nowadays. So whether it's taking a pill or smoking marijuana, things like that, you know, parents need to be involved in what's happening into their children's life. So when you entrust your children to schools, you're hoping and praying that they're going to get an education that will make them a very productive individual. So for these issues to come up, parents must know what's happening in the schools.
There are 2 new Amazon operation facilities that are heading to Virginia Beach and are expected to eventually employ more than 1,000 people. What's your plan to grow more jobs here locally?
Locally, well, I was appointed last year to the State Workforce Board here. So that's something I've had, you know, 20 plus years experience here. Before I retired and went to the General Assembly, I worked with the Virginia Department of Labor and Industry as an apprenticeship consultant. So I traveled all around Central and Southwest Virginia, working with employers, helping to identify specific training needs, you know, certifications or accreditations that they need, you know, for the skills that are available out here. So working with the General Assembly and the governor, this is one thing that I feel very strong and very passionate about, making sure the young people coming out of our schools have a credential if they're going to pursue a career in workforce or whatever. And
Because
the career
not everyone will
opportunity-
go to college.
Not everybody's going to go to college, but when you really pay attention to what the employers are saying around here, you know, they're paying way above minimum wage. So if people can just show up and they're willing to learn a skill, they'll pay for their training, and the opportunities are just unlimited.
All right.
So that's what we need to make sure is young people understand the opportunities they have right here with a strong workforce. You know, the community college is very important, working with them and the local schools, CTE programs. So I'm really excited about the opportunity we have here in Central Virginia.
All right. Wendell Walker, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the ABC 13 YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos and live coverage and local stories, click to subscribe and download our ABC 13 News app.